you are Tuchel, or what exactly will be going in Tuchel's head when he'll be approaching Real Madrid? So I want to know the build-up, I want to know the formation, and I want to know, what will be his playing 11.
So I'll just brief on Tuchel's tactics, and I'll first differentiate from what Lampard did. I'll just give a brief analysis of what Lampard did and why Tuchel has been so successful.
Yeah.
So, as you see, at times he even tweaked to a back. Mostly it was a 4-3-3. In a lot of games, it was a back three. The principles of the play were the same. So his game was based around possession. So there's a stat. Last 8 games of Lampard in the Premier League, the team had 60% possession. The first 16 games of Thomas Tuchel in the Premier League and the Champions League, he's at 63% possession. So there's not a major difference. Both of them were based on keeping possession. Yeah. Now, I tell you on the screen where the difference lies. The difference lies, Tuchel has had 11 clean sheets out of 16 Premier League and Champions League games. And that is a mad stat. That is over 70%.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And considering they lost to West Brom with a man down, they leaked 5 goals in one of those games. Otherwise, this is a mad statistic. They've kept 11 clean sheets in 16 games. Yeah. I think one of the guys just pointed out that Chelsea are not very good at scoring goals. And I think I couldn't agree more. That is absolutely valid. They do lack firepower up front, and we saw what's happening with Werner. But their game is based on keeping clean sheets at the moment. So I don't see Madrid being a very high-scoring team. I don't see Chelsea being a very high-scoring team. Chelsea average 1.4 goals per game under Tuchel. That is below 1.5 goals per game.
Right.
So I don't see this being a very high-scoring game.
So you mean to say that it's going to be a dull, boring encounter for the viewers watching on the television? So you don't see the midfielders opening up that much because they are on the risk of
I think it's going to be a chess battle. Zidane, as we have seen in all the semifinals and finals, he's tactically very astute, and he starts the game slow, invites the opposition to press, tires them out, and then later when the opponent is tired out, he starts making use of the full width and the depth of the pitch and tires them out. So I think this is going to be a good tactical encounter. Coming back to, I'll just explain what Lampard did now, where the difference lies. So as you can see the distances between the players now.
Yes.
Now, when Chelsea used to lose the ball, it used to be somewhat like this. There used to be huge gap. So whenever the opposition won the ball, they used to quickly counterattack. You can see there's huge distances between the players.
Yes.
And I'll just tell you now what Tuchel did. So as you can see, Tuchel has a back three. That gives more stability to the defensive line. He has a midfield two. It's either Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante. Doesn't matter. The principles are the same.
Right.
So the back three and the midfield two, gives more solidity. And now as Chelsea create triangles and diamonds, as they create these triangles and diamonds, you can see they're very close to each other. So now, suppose they lose the ball here. They're all very close. They're very close to each other.
Right.
So the space for the opponent to exploit is very less now. And you can see with Lampard, you can see this huge space. So players are far from each other. Principles were the same. They both used to rely on keeping possession, creating triangles and diamonds. But as you can see, the players are spaced far away from each other.
So you mean to say it's just about crowding?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean to say that you are trying to say here is Tuchel is successful because he's trying to crowd the midfield. He's not
He's
leaving
not only
spaces
trying
behind.
to crowd the midfield,
Yeah,
he's not only trying to crowd the midfield. Between the defenders, the space is less. When they create the triangles, the space is less. And if the opposition presses, so suppose this is Aspilicueta,
right.
if the opposition presses now, they'll get
Yeah,
even more closer. The same formation, they'll get closer.
exactly,
They'll get
exactly.
closer. Maybe Havertz,
Mount,
Mount,
maybe.
Werner, Pulisic, whoever
Yeah.
that be. They get very close. Now you observe the distance. I'll refer
Mhm.
back to 2017 or 2018. Pep
Yeah,
told at Monday Night Football to Gary Neville and Carragher, shorter distances means shorter transitions. So that
yeah,
is the principle of Pep, and Tuchel has the same principle as Pep. Formations may be different, but the principle,
yeah.
the idea of football is the same. That is to have shorter distances between players. If they press more, if the opposition will press more,
Mhm.
they get even closer. And
Exactly.
otherwise, the distance will be slightly more, but not as much as Lampard. If the
Right,
opposition
right.
doesn't press now, distance is going to be more.
Also,
So that
Aditya,
is where Tuchel has been stable defensively, and
yeah.
he's kept 63% possession. His average is 63% of the ball.